to real soon.
Where you been?
Oh, you have no idea. None. Oh, man, you're never gonna believe it.
So what happened now?
I was on my way here and I decided to count how many laws there are between my house and here, which is only like 10 minutes away, and it took forever.
What'd you get up to?
1,673,281.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's that one that really tweaks me.
Yeah, I know. I guess, Jesus. It's insane, man. The laws are, there's just too many laws now.
Oh, and it's about to get worse.
How?
You haven't heard yet?
No.
HR Bill 192.8675309.
No.
Outlawing really cool, awesome hats.
We can't have that. We can't have that. We've got to stop
Well,
it.
they're gonna try.
Well, we've got to stop it.
That's it. Let us draw swords together.
Let's do this. I'm taking this. Hey everyone, and welcome to my tube. My name's Steve.
And I'm Chris.
And as you can see, we're in a different location.
Yep. Turns out that last room we were in, we broke no less than 27 laws, and we were asked to depart the premises.
And I asked the cop, which laws are we breaking? And he's like, I don't know, I'll just make something up. This episode is going to be about immigration. All types of immigration, not just what's currently going on. We'd like to start in the past, as we do sometimes, and we're going to start with 1607. And that's when the Pilgrims landed in America. And they were here looking for religious freedom from pretty much tyranny, pretty much anything, really. But they weren't the first immigrants.
You know, that goes way farther back.
How far back? Like 1776?
Oh, wait. Forward.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Damn math.
What happened before 1607?
Well, that's when you had the Indians coming over.
Ah, yes, the Native Americans. That's what you call them now. The Indians came across on the Bridge to Nowhere in Alaska.
Bering Strait.
Oh, yeah, okay. Not,
it's like the one thing I remember from 5th grade, so I had to get it out there.
Okay, so, true. They came across the Bering Strait and settled in America eventually. This continent is built on immigration. And that's a good thing. It feeds into what we are.
Yeah, New World and all that stuff.
Yeah, and if you look at it, like, even with them coming over here as early as they did, then us coming over when we did, the Europeans being us, you see it as a huge melting pot because people were able to live in their own culture as they saw fit.
There's some interesting combinations that arose from that too. Like in Wisconsin, you got all those really cool Indian French names for places, and it's because of trade.
Yep. In fact, in Wisconsin, you have a city where they almost predominantly speak German still. And you wouldn't call them immigrants because they've been here for hundreds of years or however long. And but they still speak their native tongue mostly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them less American for still having their own language. As far as the whole speak English thing, okay, why don't we just let the natural consequences of not speaking English take their course rather than insisting everyone speak English, you know?
Well, I'm actually a little different with that. I think that if you come here, I wouldn't immigrate to another country without at least trying to learn their language.
If you don't learn to speak English, you might have a bad time.
Yeah.
That's where I leave it.
But do you think that we should cater to it like the Pres Dos for Spanish? I'm not a big fan of that.
That's a hard issue because
I think to me, if you're going to do that, you should do it for every language.
Yeah, at a government level, no. I say, if at a private level, if you want to insist that people speak English, or if you want to make concessions to people who do speak a different language, that should be your choice. But of course, the government's got its little paws and everything now, so I mean that always muddies the waters. That's the problem with talking anything libertarian these days.
So talking about German immigrants brings us to Ellis Island. And Ellis Island was extremely important for immigration in the United States. That's where almost anybody's relative came from, is through Ellis Island. I know mine probably came through there, and I'm guessing yours probably.
Almost certainly, yeah. Italy, Ireland.
Yeah.
That's what mostly makes up my bloodline.
Yep. In the, I believe, late 1800s, early 1900s, we had a ton of Irish immigrants. And they were treated the same way as Mexicans are kind of treated in this country today. They were vilified, they were coming to take your jobs, you name it, they said it about the Irish. And the Irish are, well, obviously white and speak English.
And there's also a parallel to the Muslim immigrants, where everyone's saying, well, the Irish are all Catholic, and so they're going to try to come here and have us all worshiping the Pope.
Yep.
Before you know it. And, well, it didn't exactly pan out that way, did it?
Well, that's why it took till 1960 to get the first Catholic president. It's interesting. It took probably about 60, 70 years or so to get a Catholic president. You think it would take about that to get a Muslim one?
Could be.
Or we just had one, but bump. Sorry, it's a joke. It's not a Muslim. It was a joke. So speaking of Ellis Island, you also have to think about the Statue of Liberty, which is a statue of liberty. You know, freedom. And on it is a sonnet.
Conspiracy confirmed.
Yes, more conspiracy.
Statue of Liberty.
On it is written a small part of a sonnet written by Emma Lazarus. And that sonnet says,
give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
That's beautiful. And that describes America, or what it should be.
Call me an idealist, but I do like the actuality to match the premise. Just a thing for me.
I don't know what he just said. That was above my pay grade.
Meaning, if you say, give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, you probably should,
accept them?
Just saying.
So that brings us to current immigration. There are millions of immigrants in this country, and quite a lot of them are illegal. And most of them are from, the illegal ones are from South America. And we've made it extremely hard to come in this country legally because of the fear of the took my jobs.
Yeah, a lot of that. Took my job, and they're all like violent people, and well, I guess we'll take one argument at a time.
Yep. So we're going to start with the taking the jobs one. They are not taking your jobs. There's two types of immigrants that usually come into the country, and it's usually poor people who are not well educated, and then extremely educated people. And the mass of America tends to fall in between that. So you have a lot of lower paying jobs that are barely minimum wage, sometimes lower than minimum wage because they're paying illegal immigrants to do them. And then you have super high paying jobs that 99.9% of the people watching this video could never get. Doctors, lawyers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so tell me, what's the problem?
What jobs are they taking from you, buddy? I just don't. I don't see it.
I say if you've got to worry about someone with very few skills and almost no English taking your job, you've got other issues, my friend.
Mm-hmm. So some of the other people that are immigrating to this country are not so good people. It does happen. Um, how many? That's always debatable. You're going to have a few bad people, or they're going to do bad things. They may not even be bad people. They may not have come here with the intent to be bad, but they just fell into it because of one reason or another.
And unless you're going to show me that natural-born citizens are less likely to do bad things, you don't really have a case.
And it's probably an equal percentage.
People are people.
Yep, they're going to do things. Because of this idea that bad people are coming in, or that people are coming in and taking our jobs, our new president wants to build a wall. A really long, big wall. Which we've covered here before.
It's a whole lot of wall.
They're just going to fly over it or go under it or climb it. It's a waste of money.
And before we go any further into that, I say we ought to let someone else go further into that.
Hey.
Bringing to you, as most weeks, the great and powerful Jess. Let's hear it, girl.
You know what really grinds my gears is that since forever, Republicans have been complaining about the welfare state and welfare and everything that goes with that. And now they're like, well, immigrants are taking welfare and we're paying for their welfare. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's true, along with all the other Americans. And then they're like, so we should build a wall and kick out all of the immigrants. I'm like, you want to pay $15 to $25 billion to build a wall, or have Mexico pay for it, which isn't going to happen, to build a wall and pay even more money to hire all the employees to do that, and all the surveillance and everything that goes with a wall and a huge immigration program, so that you won't have to pay the cost for their welfare, which, by the way, is a lot less than that. So please make me understand how that makes sense when all you would have to do is abolish the welfare program. Why are we doing this? How does this make sense? I mean, I'm not quite sure if this is racist because they just actually just don't want to admit that they hate Mexican people, or stupid. This is so stupid. Why? Why? What is this? It's what Grandma would call robbing Peter to pay Paul. That doesn't make any sense. You can't say, oh, look, well, we have more money because of the welfare system. No, we just spent like $50 billion creating a stupid wall and the largest immigration program in the world.
Yeah, that was a good point. All of it. It's good stuff.
There's so many ways to actually save money if that's what you're trying to do. This premise that we got to stop people from taking advantage of the welfare system. Well, they didn't put that welfare system in place. It's not their fault. We have to do something about just handing money to anybody.
Do you think it's just an excuse?
Probably.
Now we have an excuse to build a wall is because of the welfare state. That wasn't the issue in the election. The issue in the election was keeping out illegal immigrants because of crime and because of taking jobs and stuff like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we call that moving the goalposts. Incurring even more debt, probably $25 billion, if it doesn't run over budget, which everything always does, plus, keeping it functioning in perpetuity, is going to cost you far more than any kind of welfare benefits you're paying out. Yes, we've been saying forever, taxation is theft. We shouldn't be redistributing income. Let's deal with that problem instead of saying that somehow being born on one side of an imaginary line makes you more eligible for theft dollars than on the other side of the imaginary line. No one is eligible for theft dollars.
Wow. You're right there, buddy.
I feel much better. Wow. If we're going to use theft dollars on anything, I'd rather it be food than bricks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not just bricks. I mean, it's, fence and they cut through it and then...
And razor wire and gun turrets and sharks with lasers mounted on their foreheads.
You mean friggin' lasers?
I stand corrected. As far as the dangers presented by certain bad immigrants, yes, it does happen sometimes. Like 1 part per several million. Are we going to spend this much money to prevent a basically statistically insignificant thing? And you got to keep in mind that the ridiculous amount of hoops that they already have to jump through to get here is fueling people doing it illegally. Some people don't feel like they have years to wait. Some people don't have $10K plus to spend to come over here.
Yep. And then when you have something illegal, you get an illegal trade, which is what you have when you have people coming across the country illegally. You get coyotes, and then you get people killed, raped, and they die on their way here because of exhaustion, lack of food, lack of water.
We got to simplify the process. All we do is fuel the black market.
Yep. So when you start talking about the bad people that are going to come into the country via immigration, you have to talk about Muslims. Not because they're bad, but because a lot of people seem to think that they are. And you have Trump's Muslim ban that is absolutely pointless. It's pissing off a lot of people, a lot of our allies, a lot of countries that we do have a lot of dealings with. And it's not really helping. I mean, yeah, it got shut down in court, so it's kind of a moot point at this point, but he wants to bring it back up.
Yeah, speaking of shutting down, I have something I need to shut down right now. People who say that, well, Trump's just using, the same or a similar list to Obama when he prohibited travel for that really brief time. Yeah. And I think it was wrong then. And if you're arguing that Trump is okay because he's just like Obama, what the hell are you doing being a Republican?
One of the reasons the Muslims want to come over here, I think, is, first of all, we're bombing their countries. That's probably one of the biggest. And second is religious freedom. You have religious freedom in America. You have the right to worship your God, in any way you see fit. I do, he does. We have the same God, but we worship in different ways.
Yeah, as long as the practice of your religion doesn't require hurting people, we're all cool with it.
Yep. So, you're talking about a country that was founded on religious freedom, separation of church and state.
And I've talked to a number of immigrants that seem to understand that principle of liberty a lot better than your average native-born person seems to these days.
Yep.
They bought into the narrative. Are we going to say, no, that was all bullshit?
You have to look at it. In 1607, the Pilgrims came to America to find religious freedom. And now, in 2017, nearly 410 years of difference, the Muslims are doing the same thing. Maybe we should let them. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Please share, subscribe, do all the things, and make sure you like the video. It's extremely important because it helps it get shared more.
Provided you actually did like the video.
I don't even care if you liked it or not, just like it. It's very statist of me. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all the things.
Yep. And, as usual, right here at 321 East Milwaukee Street.
That room over there, though.
Yeah, but you can't see that, but so, never mind.
Yeah.
Fourth Friday of every month, 7 p.m., is when we have our Rock County Libertarian Party meetings.
So make sure you show up, and we'd love to see you there, and thanks for watching. Good night.
See ya.